And so it continues. Hi guys, welcome to the video. So we are on Star Trek Picard, Season 2, Episode 8. We're nearly there. 2 more episodes to go. And then Strange New Worlds. See what that's going to be like. As always, I'm going to give you a rundown of the plot, if that's what you can call it. I'll tell you what happens in the episode, point out some things that I liked, I suppose, and point out some things that I did not like, which is usually most of it. So the episode opens and we see the boy running, as we did in the trailer. The little boy running in the woods. He's being pursued and he trips and falls over and sees, well, Vulcans, and it cuts away to Picard. And in comes Agent Wells. So Picard and Guinan are being held in this room, okay? And the first thought that went through my head is, this is exactly the kind of room that Jurati should have been taken to when she was at the gala and was escorted off the floor. That's the type of room she should have been taken to. Not Command Central, but some place where they keep the filing cabinets that are fucked. You know, some fucking obscure file room. They're having a conversation with Agent Wells, who knows. He knows they're extraterrestrials. He's Mulder. His sister wasn't kidnapped by aliens, but he knows the truth is out there. And later on in the episode, we find out why. Guinan points out that this is a little off the books because the camera's not working. And he says, you know what? Yeah, this is off the books. Cuts to credits. And then after the credits are done, we cut to Raffi and Seven still investigating the broken window from the previous episode. You know when Jurati needed to feel good? She broke a window to get those endorphins going because endorphins help with Borg assimilation. Do you remember that one? Do you remember that little cherub? That little absolute load of fucking crap. Do you remember? Do you remember? You gotta feel good to get assimilated. Assimilation, it's not for everyone, but if you're feeling good, you're gonna get assimilated. Who knew combating assimilation was simply a case of, I don't feel very good. I feel sad. I feel sad. Jesus Christ, the Borg ever encountered the crew of Discovery, they'd be unassimilatable. Unassimilatable? You wouldn't be able to assimilate them. Because they'd just be crying. The Borg Queen would go, I can't do shit with that crew. They're not feeling good enough. They're all crying. Anyway, God, only a few minutes in, already off on a tangent. They're basically saying, hey, look, you know, Shirati's broke the window. We've got to go find her. It cuts to Rios. And Raffi's talking to Rios. Rios is saying, I've got to fix the ship. Raffi is saying, you've got to make sure that the ship isn't Borgified. Borgified? That is a wonderfully scientific term. Borgified? Oh! So Rios goes, yeah, you know what? I'm going to tear the ship apart, make sure that there are no Borg algorithms. Proper term, the proper phrase that you're supposed to use. Raffi's saying to Seven, you've got to put yourself in the Borg shoes to try and figure out where Jurati would go. And Seven goes, hey, I can't do that. And she goes, well, actually you can. You should. Seven asks, I think it's the owner of the bar. The guy sweeping up all the mess. She says, hey, I want to ask you about your broken window. And the guy goes, okay, are you cops? And she goes, no, we're not cops. You don't want to talk to cops? And this guy says, oh, I've seen how cops treat crazy people. Anyway, moving on. The guy says, hey, look, she went that way. Seven says, hey, thanks. Cuts back again to Picard in the interrogation. And Agent Wells, he's showing them pictures of the CCTV footage because he's got a friend. He's got a friend who watches all the CCTV in the area and is looking out for anything strange. Boom. There's Picard. There's Rios. There's Raffi. You know, the vacuum sack of personality that is Raffi. And Seven, who, you know, Seven at that gala was practically non-existent other than mingling with people in the past. Regardless, Wells is going, look, I know your cohorts. I know what you're doing here. You know, you're clearly here for nefarious reasons. I'm going to play the part of Samuel Clemens from Time's Arrow. There's a picture of Picard pointing over there saying, Rene Picard, she's over there. I'm not an alien. I don't remember where I left my keys. It goes to, what's her name? Soji? Daj? Artificial girl. The actress, she plays everything artificial in Star Trek Picard. I don't think she actually played a human at this point, aside from this time. But she's not a natural human. So the actress is just brought in to a role where you're going to say, well, you're going to play someone, but they're not a real person. I feel kind of bad for it. It's just like, you know, we want to bring you in. Okay, so what artificial life am I playing now? She puts on this VR headset, okay? Now, we all know VR technology is not quite there yet. You're basically looking at a screen, and it's making progress, but it's not quite there yet. And she says, give me a 3D rendering of a 2D image. And she's able to see through the wall, basically using the cameras, and she's got this whole 3D image thing. She's looking around the lab, and in pops Q. Q has returned. He's back. I've been moaning that he's been gone for a few episodes, and I'm wondering what the whole point of it was. Well, in this episode, we're going to get answers. We finally have answers as to what could possibly be wrong with Q. I guarantee you're probably not going to like it. So Q says, I have hacked into this headset and left a computer program behind to talk to you and show you basically that I'm going to give you the freedom. So I'm going to cure you. And I've left a present at your door. And a friggin' Amazon delivery notification comes through and she gets this box. And she opens the box and in it is the blue pill that I mentioned previously. It's the blue pill. And it has a little tag attached to it that says freedom. So clearly Q went with the gift option with the gift tag. Cuts back to 7. And they're wandering down an alley in the direction that the fella went with Agnes. Agnes went with a fella, okay, from the previous episode. They find the fella dead. And it turns out Jurati tried to assimilate him. She couldn't get her assimilation erection, so she killed him instead. Okay? So Agnes, well, she's a murderer anyway, so, you know, why not continue the spree? But here's the real kicker. These two, there's got to be some part of Agnes still in there. There's got to be some part of Jurati in there. The Borg Queen showed no mercy, and Jurati's got to be in there somewhere. Are you ready for this? Mercy is a Jurati quality. And I'm like, ask fucking Bruce Maddox about that one, why don't you? And some of you will say, oh, she was under the influence of an alien vision and she didn't know what she was doing. She knew precisely what she was doing. She saw something so terrible, she decided to murder a man. She doesn't show mercy. She fucking killed the Borg Queen now. Okay, it's not a big deal because it's the Borg Queen, but she still murdered her in cold blood. Whether you think she's a drone or not. No, that's how you dispatch the Borg, by the way. You have to be relentless and ruthless. Don't tell me that Jurati has mercy and that mercy is a quality of this absolute fucking... Someone in my comment section said she looks like a thumb with a face. And that's what I'm going to call her from now on, I think. Jurati, the thumb with a face, has absolutely no merciful qualities about her. She's a fucking murderer. Anyway, that made me laugh. And it was one of those moments where I went, you what? Jurati has merciful qualities. Merciful. Christ. Anyway, get ready for another kicker. Because they pick up this guy's phone that's been trashed. And she's pulled the fucking phone apart. And 7 asks, what goes into batteries in this time? Raffi goes, oh, lithium ion. Okay, yeah, that's true. Lithium ion batteries, yep, I'm with you so far, guys. You're doing well. Keep going. Go on. Keep going. And 7 goes, when the oh, for fuck's sake. When the Borg assimilate people, they inject them with metals, and it helps the assimilation process. See, in Voyager, when the Doctor was explaining what Borg nanoprobes do, they grab a cell, assimilate it, and move on, and there's billions of the damn things in your bloodstream, and that's why assimilation is so fucking quick. But no, yet another retcon. The Borg need to inject you with metals first to allow for the assimilation. And Seven goes, I remember the smell. It's not good. I remember the smell. It's so traumatic. So, yeah, once again, changing the Borg, changing assimilation, because that's what NuTrek does. It just goes, actually, it wasn't super easy to assimilate people, you know. We saw it happen instantly in Star Trek First Contact, Star Trek The Voyager, Star Trek Enterprise, Star Trek The Next Generation, Star Trek Deep Space... Don't think it happened in Deep Space Nine. However, we saw it happen instantly in all those shows, but it's actually not that easy, you know. The Borg aren't actually capable of assimilating people that quickly, because they need to inject you with the metals first. First they inject you with the metals, and then that helps the Borg nanoprobes assimilate everybody. And assimilation takes days now. It's not instantaneous. And it never was. And if you don't know that, if you know anything different, then you don't know Star Trek. They actually see Agnes down the alley, and she's ripping out car batteries for all the lithium ion. She's got a bit of a lithium ion addiction going on here. Something. I think she needs to go to lithium ion rehab. I did skip a little bit there. Seven gets into an argument with Raffi, basically saying, why are you smiling? This is my pain, why are you smiling? And she accuses Raffi of being a manipulator. And it's true, Raffi does manipulate people. She's like a prime gaslighter. She's a fucking horrible person, Raffi is. Back to what I was saying. And this is interrupted by them seeing Jurati. And she runs over the cars, as she did in the trailer. She punches Seven, and Seven goes flying back into a dumpster. She grabs Raffi by the neck and starts squeezing. And I'm thinking, go on, squeeze a bit tighter. We see a little bit of Jurati, and Jurati says, no, don't strangle her, no. I'm a good person. I'm not a murderer. Don't strangle her. And she walks off. And in slow-mo. Gotta have a bit of slow-mo. It's NuTrek. Gotta have slow-mo power walking. Because she's the Borg Queen. Or not. Cuts back to Picard. Guinan. The guy comes in, Agent Wells. Not temporal agent guy from Voyager. I told you in my addendum video. It'd be clever if they did that, but they're not clever, so it doesn't matter. Agent Wells goes, well, surprise, surprise. I've pulled another file, and look, your mate here, you got a picture of Rios, was captured and arrested by ICE. He broke out and everything. So, yeah, he's gotten wind, and he gives this pad to Picard and tells him to read it. And it's Rios's speech from when he was in interrogation. Picard reads it off. And the guy says, right, well, I've actually searched where ICE did the raid, the clinic. I found this. And he shows him the comm badge. He says, I've got my text pulling this apart. You know, everybody knows. Mulder's just gone, the truth isn't really out there, guys. Cuts back to the La Serena, and the kid's touching all the panels and everything. But it's okay because the ship's in diagnostic mode, so the kid can touch whatever he wants. And Rios is checking the transporter to make sure that that it's not Borgified. The replicators come online, and Rios says, what do you want? Anything you want. The kid orders 4 cakes. And in there is a red velvet, and we all know what red velvet does to characters in NuTrek. Oh, God. The kid goes and eats cake, and just this truly bizarre scene takes place between Rios and Dr. Lady. The Dr. Lady wants to know more about Rios, and it's like Rios is incapable of telling her more about himself. She goes, pretend we're married. And Rios is like, what? We used to spend every second together. Now it feels like a business partnership. We talk, but don't talk. Then we get stuck. Driving to see family for Christmas and break down. We're stuck in a shitty motel. We go to a bar and hang out. For the first time in so long. I've been thinking about having an affair with my friend from work. And he says, is this you being romantic? And I'm asking the question, is this the writers trying to be romantic, funny and clever? Because they're not, because it's stupid. This kind of scene has no business being in anything resembling Star Trek. It's not clever, it's not funny, it's not witty, it's shit. It feels so out of place. You want to know stuff about him and say, right, okay, what do you do in the future? Where you're from? Start with normal questions like that, not pretend we're married. And then we're heading somewhere for Christmas, and then we break down, and then you... Anyway, the kid says, oh, I've eaten too much cake, I'm going to throw up. And I thought, don't do it. Don't you throw up, kid. Seriously, we have enough throwing up in NuTrek. Seriously, Girardi was crazy for it in the first season. Every time you saw her, she was just throwing up. Oh, I've had a vision. Bleh. Oh, I've eaten cake. Bleh. Oh, I've drank booze. Bleh. It's just... Anyway, she comes back and gives Rios a kiss. Rios is just like, yeah, I'm going to take you to the future and really fuck with time. Or I'm going to leave you here having left your memory intact. Cuts back to Picard and Wells is saying, look, you know, that there's people coming that are worse than me. They're going to torture you for information because I know you're an alien. They think you're an alien. You know, you're going somewhere. You may as well tell me what's going on. Picard's just like, I'm not an alien. I'm just a bumbling old fool. Guinan's been taken somewhere else, probably for some probing. I don't know. And in pops Q, and this is where he gets super fucking stupid again. Q goes, oh my god, you're Guinan. And she goes, yes. And she says, well, we haven't met yet. She goes, well, you're the Q I summoned then. And he goes, that is a sacred ritual, and it is not for general house calls. You called me here for basically a superfluous reason. Anyway, it's revealed that Q is dying, as we've heard that he may not be well in previous episodes. Q's dying. He's only got a full lifetime left, and there's no explanation as to why he's dying. And apparently, you know, Q just embraced it. Okay, there's no explanation as to why Q is dying. Q's omnipotent. They live forever. Okay, they can kill each other. Obviously, we knew that for Voyager's episode Death Wish, and in the Q Civil War that was covered in Voyager. Okay, we know that Q can die, but there's no explanation and no reason given as to why Q is dying. He just says, I'm dying. He says that humans are stuck in the past, and Picard's stuck in the past. We're trapped in the past. Okay, yeah, I'm hoping it will come, an explanation will come at the end. But here's the thing. The thing that really bothers me is that I don't think there will be, because the writers are forgetting things that they're writing all the time. They're forgetting their own story. And it can't keep within itself. There's so many loose threads. So many loose ends in this season. As I've said before, it'll only work if Q is able to snap his fingers. But Q's lost his powers. He's unable to do anything. He's unable to fix anything. So how are they going to fix this? They've already contaminated the timeline. You've got Girardi going around being a Borg. There's absolutely... I hope their answer to this is really imaginative. But can you guess what I think it's going to be? Unimaginative and stupid and forgetful of itself. Anyway, Q fucks off, and Adam Soon's talking to his artificial daughter, and she's saying, was my whole life a lie? You know, do you care more about me? It was a really boring scene. I don't really care. And he says, no, I am attached to my work. You are my work, but I do love you. And she goes, you can't love me because I'm not real, and I was just one of your experiments. And he goes, you're not real? What do you mean what's real? Real is perception. Real is this. Real is that. Real is I couldn't give a flying fuck. And she goes, you didn't love me. And he goes, but I did love you. And she goes, if I walked out that door right now, would you care more that you'd lost your work and your legacy, or that you'd lost me? And he goes, and she goes, way wrong answer, I'm leaving. And she steps outside, walks on the grass. He follows her out and says, no, you can't go out there. And hang on a minute, how come you're not bursting into flames like the vampire that you clearly are? He doesn't say that, I'm paraphrasing. She shows him the blue pill. And he goes, oh, you can't leave. I'm stereotypical angry white man. You must stay. I must control you, yada, yada, yada. And she goes, hey, I'm not staying. I'm off. Bye. The look on Soong's face is absolutely priceless. Cuts back to Raffi and Seven, and Raffi says, you know what, you were right. As I've just been strangled to the point of nearly dying, I can speak properly, by the way. I'm not straining my voice because my voice box has clearly suffered some fucking damage from nearly being strangled by a fucking goddamn bohawk. And she says, look, you're right, I am a bad person. It cuts back to Elnor, and it's kind of like, it's a bit jarring because it's not clear it's a flashback, and suddenly there's Elnor. He wanted to go back to the Kumquat Malot, or the cum-faced twats. The ninja nuns, the warrior ninja nuns that NuTrek's got such a serious boner for. This was months prior. He wants to go back to them, and she said, and she basically, my God, it's so basic. It's so basically written. She's a fucking narcissist. She's a classic narcissist. She goes, I thought you wanted to follow in my footsteps and join Starfleet. And but if you want to go, I mean, that's up to you. But I you know, you could be. I'm more important, and you should do what I say because I'm a narcissistic cow who no one likes. You know, he ends up being the victim in this abusive relationship that they had. Whatever relationship they had, it's like a mother and son, really, isn't it? And he decides to stay in Starfleet, and then it cuts back to Raffi, and she's like, "Oh no, he joined Starfleet. He died in my arms, and that's my fault." It's like, yeah, fucking is, you damn narcissistic cow. Of course, it's your fault. It cuts to drunk Adam Soong down in a bottle of Jack because he's down on his luck, and that's what everybody does. And the Borg Queen, Borg Jurati Queen, show up. Adam Soong goes, "Am I dreaming, or is this a nightmare?" And I thought, same question. I'm going to ask the same question of this show. Am I dreaming, or is this a nightmare? So here's another absolute bonkers, bona fide pile of wank that they've written. Picard sitting with Wells. The lights start to flicker, and Guinan appears in an apparition. She astral projects herself. She fucking... She fucking projects herself into the fucking room. And you're looking at her, and she's got the nosebleed, you know, like Eleven has in Stranger Things. She's got the fucking nosebleed and everything. She projects herself into the room. Oh, there's absolutely zero mention of this in Star Trek before. The Elorians cannot force fucking ghost themselves into another fucking room. They did a fucking Last Jedi. You know, the only thing that was missing is after she's finished projecting herself, she simply vanishes and the clothes fall to the fucking ground. Oh, fucking hell. Anyway, the Guinan apparition says something about everybody's trapped in the past. And Picard has this seemingly intelligent moment. It's not Star Trek. It's not written that way. He basically goes to Wells. We've all got our demons from the past. What are your demons? You tell me what happened in the past, and I will trade you. I will trade you truth for truth. I will trade you. And it turns out Wells is the kid running in the forest from the Vulcans. He trips over, and the Vulcans see him. The Vulcans are clearly surveying the planet. This Vulcan basically tries to mind meld with Wells and make him forget, and Wells is explaining all this, and the Vulcans get beamed away. No explanation as to why they get beamed away, they just get beamed away before he can finish the mind meld. So this is stuck with Wells for a while. And Picard goes, how did they touch your face? What did they do to your face? And Wells goes to Picard, you know, he goes, they put their hand on my head, and he goes, are you sure it wasn't more like this? Sorry, I've given you a mind meld. Subscribe. And Wells goes, Yeah, that was it. That was it. And Picard goes, those people were Vulcans, and they are very nice people, and they don't mistreat people. They're not monsters. They're Vulcans. You see, if you help me, I will help you. I assure you, I am very much a human. I am very much a human. No, you're not. You're a synthetic human. You're not a human. You're a synthetic human. Cuts back to the Lost Arena, and there's a big problem because Rios turned off the transporter, and he can't turn it back on again. It's one of those situations where you turn something off and turn it back on again, and it's not fixed it. It's not fixed it. Rios says to Raffi, "We got a problem, a serious problem." Guinan's back in the room after a little forced projection. Picard's sitting there with his arms folded, going, "I'm amazing." And Wells walks in. Wells has been fired inexplicably for no reason. He has been fired just right now, just right then. He's got access to highly sensitive people, but the FBI have fired Mulder inexplicably because he's the alien guy. Fucking hell. Anyway, Wells chooses to help them. He says, "My life is pointless. My life is pathetic. There's no point to it. I've wasted my entire life doing this." I thought, no, you've just learned that what you saw as a child was real. You've been searching for the truth, and now you have it. You've not wasted your life. You've just discovered something fucking profound. And no, but you need Guinan to cheer you up because you feel bad because you think you've wasted your life. You've just discovered that aliens are real. Fucking hell. Guinan makes him feel better and convinces him to help them. Fucking whatever. Jurati's playing with the screen that I want. I'm still trying to save up for that. I want that curved screen. It'd be great. We basically find out that the reason the Confederation was born is because Rene Picard didn't go on the mission. The mission didn't happen. Earth suffered environmental problems. Adam Soong was the saviour. There's statues of him everywhere, and he was the most amazeballs guy in the world. He was revered. And she says, in the other timeline, you just die alone. Well, I want the first one. I want that all the life. Agnes, the Queen, she goes, "You've got to get me into NASA so I can stop Rene Picard from going on the mission." And I'll get back to this in a moment, but there's a serious problem there as well, isn't there? I think you know what I'm going to say. Cuts to Raffi going, "God damn it, Picard, where have you been?" I'm thinking, stop talking to Picard. You know what? I'll tell you what, keep talking to Picard like that, because that's not Picard. I don't give a fuck. Fuck off, Raffi. They realise that Jurati's going to try and stop the launch of the Europa mission, so we're back to the Europa mission now. Picard says goodbye to Guinan.
I hope to see you again soon. I'm sure we'll see each other soon. It won't be long.
You can see that the nanoprobes, you know, those billions of nanoprobes, are taking over Jurati's body and assimilating her skin with the help of the lithium ion from the batteries. Fucking hell. Adam Soong has spoken to a general and he's got himself a mercenary force. This guy who's a fucking disgraced scientist has got himself a mercenary force. Jurati the Queen assimilates one of them and he starts turning green. And that's it. That's the episode. That is the end of this absolute fucking hogfest of utter shite. That was a slog to get through. There really were some huge laugh out loud moments. But it wasn't funny. It was funny, but it wasn't funny. And I think it's the have to laugh or you'll cry sort of deal. What did I think to this episode? Well, it was a shit episode. It's shit. Picard is shit. It's a shit episode. I'm just going to say the word shit over and over again because it's the only way I can think to describe this god-awful fucking diatribe of utter failure. Q's dying? Yeah, fucking hell, why not? Fucking hell, just kill off another character, make Q all depressed and because he's dying. Yeah, sure, why not? Nihilism, let's go. The Borg need cell phone batteries to assimilate. I'm simplifying it, of course. But yeah, they need fucking phone batteries to assimilate people now. They need to put precious metals into your body to assimilate you. If you're feeling too sad and depressed and upset, it slows down assimilation to a point of stopping. Can you tell why I'm so sick of this goddamn utter bullshit? And I'll tell you, I'm going to make it to the end of the season. I'm going to review Strange New Worlds. And I'm going to review Star Trek Picard Season 3. Because someone has to point out this bullshit. I've told you before, I love Star Trek. I have for many years. Yada, yada, yada. I keep saying it. At the end of the day, I'm like, watching in horror as something I love burns to the ground. It's kind of like a fire starts in your house. You get out, you get your family out, you get your loved ones out. You can't go back for anything and you're just watching it burn and fall. You're feeling great sadness and sorrow at watching something that you loved burn to the ground. And there's nothing you can do but tell people about it. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm describing the fire to people. Those are my videos. I'm describing the dumpster fire. Now, I cannot wait. Some of you may like this, some of you may not. I can't wait for the Orville to start because that light's going green. It's red because I'm reviewing stuff that's shit. It's going to go green for the Orville because that's going to be fucking good. I think the Orville, whether you like Seth MacFarlane or you don't like Seth MacFarlane, the Orville is arguably better Star Trek than Star Trek is right now. My father passed away 2 years ago. I gave him the Orville to watch in the final months of his life, and he was crying with laughter. We shared a lot of humor, a lot of interest, and he loved the Orville. And I told him what happened in season 1 of Picard, and he could not believe it. He'd not watched Picard. He'd not watched any of the new Star Trek other than 2 episodes of Discovery. He loved the Orville. It brought him such moments of laughter in his final days. And I'm ever so grateful to that show. So I hope they do well with the Orville. And I'm going to review the Orville because I liked it as a show. Anyway, that's the episode. It's shit. My voice is going again because I get so fired up in these videos. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, then give it a like. If you're new here, then consider subscribing to the channel. The channel's growing really fast. Again, I'm really grateful for everybody who has subscribed and all of you that are on this journey with me and are coming back every week. Can't tell you how much I appreciate it. It is absolutely so heartwarming. So thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for coming back. Let me know if you want an addendum video making. Until next time, look after yourselves, look after each other, take care, bye bye for now.
I need the silence, stop the violence of the war in my head. Time's the healer, the eraser of all done and said. And as I fall back to my shelter, I know I'll